Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, and in this video we are going to talk about parts of speech. Verb. Now, what is verb? Well, verb is nothing but a word that denotes an action or state is what we call it as verb. Now, verb can be divided into four categories, and they are state or action verb, main and auxiliary verb, regular and irregular verb, and transitive and intransitive verb. We'll look at them one by one now. First, let's look at the state verb. Well, state verb is something that express a situation. Words like be, think, have, like, own express a situation. Now, action verb is something that expresses an physical action. Words like hit, run, climb, sit, stand express a physical action. Now, let's look at the sentence example of each. Now, for state verb, I have a large family. Now, here have is representing a situation of my family, and that's why it is under the state verb. Let's look at the example of action verb. Who's shouting? Or the boys are running around the ground. Now, here the word shouting is representing a physical action that someone is shouting. Who is shouting? Or the boys are running around the ground. I mean, they are running around the ground. Now, here, one thing that you have to remember is that state verb does not form in the state verbs does not begin or does not have verb in ing form. For example, we won't have sentence like I am having a large family. So this would be a more important rule that you have to remember in English grammar when differentiating between a state and an action verb. Now let's look at the main and the auxiliary verb. Well, when a verb is used in a sentence, it is either used in a main form or in the auxiliary form. Now, the auxiliary form is also called as an helping verb. Now let's look at the example. Luciano is working now. Now here, which is the verb? Well, is working is a verb here. And which is the main verb? Well, working is the main verb and is the auxiliary verb here. Why? Because is supporting the word working. It is representing what is he doing now. And that's why it is an helping verb. Now let's look at another example. We have visited the UK 4 times. Now here the word have is the verb and it is the main verb. Why? Because it is talking about the lifetime experience, and that's why it is a main verb. Now come to the next example, which is very tricky. For example, if you have a sentence like we have a car. Now here we have is the verb, but it is not the main verb. It is the auxiliary verb. Why? Because it is the substitution of the word o here. In the above sentence, we actually saw the lifetime experience of we have been to UK for 4 times, right? So it is talking about the lifetime experience, whereas here in this sentence we have is representing or is a substitution of the word own. Now keep one thing in mind, that have is a word that can be used in both main and auxiliary verb, but in very rare cases are the possibilities that have is used in an auxiliary verb, which I gave you. We have a car or we own a car, right? So you have to keep this in mind as well. Another common types of helping verbs are can, could, might, will, shall, should, and must. They all are called as modal verbs. Now, what is modal verb? Well, modal is something that used to express a mood in a sentence, and that is what we call as modal verbs. Now, let's look at regular and irregular verb. Now, in order to understand this, you need to have a little background, and that is in English, only verb can form a tense. And in order to form the tense, you need to change the form of verb. And to check that, you can obviously log into my Instagram account, Sia Institution, and check out a tabular column is shared by me, which will give you a good idea about regular and irregular verb. Or you can also check out my tense video, and in that I have given you a detailed explanation of what a regular and irregular verb is, and how verb forms a tense and how it is changed. Now let's look at the transitive and intransitive verb. Well, what is transitive verb? A transitive verb is always takes an object. Now, what is object in a grammar? Well, object is a noun or a pronoun which receives the action, is what we call as an object in grammar. Now, some of the common transitive verbs are hit, give, carry, climb, run, make, take. Okay. Now let's look at the sentence example of transitive verb. Now, Varun kicked. Now, if you look at the sentence, it is an incomplete one. You might ask a question, Varun kicked what? Then I would say, oh, Varun kicked the ball. Now, you have to remember one thing, that if the sentence answers the question of what or who, is what we call as a transitive verb. Now, let's talk about the intransitive verb. Well, intransitive verb, as the name itself suggests, does not take the action form of the verb. For example, live, cry, laugh, run, sleep, they all does not take an action or action from the verb. For example, the boys laughed loudly. Now here, loudly is not an action but an adverb for the word laugh, right? So I hope you guys like this video, and I hope this video was informative for you. If you like this video, please do hit the like button, and please to subscribe to my channel. And you can also check out me on my Instagram page, CA Institution. Thank you so much. Have a good day.